Producers, if you have never seen this plugin before, you need to check this out. This is one of many Gatekept plugins I'm going to be showing you today. I go by my best friend Jacob. I'm a Grammy-nominated producer, and this is the Piano Rack by Crowhill. Lots of producers use guitar pedals just like this blooper here to get those weird accents and textures. Well, this plugin does that. So this is an effect you can use as an internal looper for your DAW. So you just saw me play some notes there. Right now, this is totally just looping that. What's really cool is you can come down here, you can play with the wow, the drops, the flux, the drive. Another cool feature that you can use is fractals over here. It's kind of like its own version of Portal. It uses granular synthesis to reverse and split up the sounds. Another cool thing that they have here is the freeze on the reverb. If I bring this up, I can create some crazy drones. So record this to audio and then chop those up and turn them into those accents and phrases. There's saturation that you can add, compression, EQ, a bunch of other cool stuff that you can add to really create some really cool moments. Like, this is just crazy. They also have free plugins. This is called Vaults, and they have this really cool reverse piano, and it's 100% free. I'm giving away copies of the next 3 plugins to one lucky producer, so make sure you watch this carefully. This is really a Gatekept plugin because I've been the one gatekeeping it. This is Spawn, and it creates living, breathing ideas that you can use as a starting point for your beats and loops. So check this out. Similar to an app like Splice, I can come up here, I could do synth key, piano, I could do dark, I could put it in a scale. I won't do that right now, but you have options to do that. And then I just go ahead and hit Spawn. So what it just did there is create this 4-bar loop that you now have control to change everything with. So if we want to pitch this up, just like a sample, if we want to pitch it down, so you have so much control right there. Let's switch the sound. So with this, I could take this to the right and I could distort it. If I take it to the left, you're going to hear more delay and reverb come in. You have such a great opportunity to really customize everything right here. If you like that sound, but you don't like the MIDI, click next. So now let's see what these other files sound like. Crazy. Let's go to the next sound. Maybe bring this back up. Go to the next MIDI. What is that? Crazy. If we want, we can change any of the sounds. So let's just say if we didn't want this piano, we could try the next one. New sound, we could try next one. So you can instantly kind of change the sounds quickly until you find something that you like. You could switch the octaves of those sounds. You could actually come in here and customize and make your own sounds and pick whatever sounds you want. So for instance, for those chords, if we wanted to turn them into a bell, I come back here. They're now a bell sound. You can edit the MIDI inside the app, or if you want, you can actually just drag and drop this out and edit inside of your DAW. That's nuts. And if you want to route these sounds to the mixer track, add your own effects, you can do that as well too. We made over 60 samples with Spawn, and if you want them for free, I'll leave a link in the comment section. And in full transparency, I did create this plugin and it drops soon. I've shown this a couple times. I just figured I'd give you a little preview, and you actually have a chance to win this before the rest of the world gets their hands on it. So stick around. Producers, if you've never seen this plugin before, you need to check it out. A lot of producers are trying to make their 808s more unique. This plugin does that. So this is my original 808, and it doesn't really matter how hard I hit it, the 808 isn't changing, it just stays the same. By using Fusion's Harmonic Drive, the velocity of the 808 now is changing the sound of the 808. So imagine all the potential when you just play with the velocity. You can almost have the 808 speaking to each other. And it gets better. The plugin uses different saturation modes on your lows, your mids, and your highs. And if I take the same 808 that you're hearing right now, it doesn't have that much punch to it. But as soon as I bring this on, it's going to add like a kick to it. Like, listen to how much punch that Harmonic Drive was able to bring out of the 808. Why would you want to replay a classic sample?
They can take less money. If you sample the master track, they will take all your money. If you replay it like this, they can't take all of it.
If you want to interpolate a sample but you don't know where to start, this is Note Grab. Grab your sample, throw it on a mixer track, and open up Note Grabber as an effect. Make sure that this is set to record, and then just hit play. This is a strange sample to use, but I wanted to put Note Grabber to the test just to see if it could extract the melody and the chords from something that had a lot going on. So now you can start to see the notes. So what you do is you actually just draw these in, drag the MIDI into your piano roll, and see if it sounds similar. So this is the original song that we have, and this is what it was able to do. I'm gonna route this MIDI to my synths. I'm gonna distort them and see if I can come up with like a CKY vibe. So this is what I came up with. I'm really happy with the end result. It sounds similar to the CKY song, but it also sounds different and original, which is what I was going for. I'm giving away one free copy of Note Grabber, Fusion, and Spawn before it's released to one lucky producer who leaves a comment sharing their most Gatekept plugin. I think this is a great way to share plugins you think other producers should know about. In return, when you share your favorite plugin below, you will be entered in a chance to win all 3 of those plugins for free. This is or was the #1 Gatekept plugin, but what a lot of producers don't know is that it got an update in May. If you've never seen this before, you can drag any one shot into here and it will resynthesize it and turn it into a playable instrument. Crazy. If you've never seen that before, that probably just blew your mind, but Splant has got new mods. So now you can copy sounds from different patches and morph them together using the graph feature. So copy branch from one of the presets and graph it onto another branch. Now when you slide this up and down, you are morphing the sound. This is a whole new sound just made out of those 2 patches. Like, this is crazy. This is also a really great plugin for creating drum kits. I highly suggest that you guys check it out. I also just created 50 free presets for Splant that I'm just playing right now. I'll make sure that I leave those below as well. Cherry Audio is better than Analog Lab. I just had to come out and say it. The plugins that this company creates are the closest, most realist thing to the original synths, and they're just crazy. This is the memory mode. It is a clone of the memory mode, which I've used hundreds of times, and it sounds so much like it. You can do this with pretty much any plugins, but the simplicity of the memory mode, it just makes this process really easy and simple to do. If you've hit randomize before in FL Studio, it's probably made your presets sound like absolute ass. Horrible. Come down here, browse parameters, and what you want to do is you want to create automations for the things that you don't want to have changed, like the master volume, the master tune. In the end, you'll have a bunch of automations like this with all the things that you don't want to have changed. So now we're going to go ahead and hit randomize, and let's just take a listen to this. Sounds horrible, just as I expected. If you come down here to song mode and now you hit play, it now forced all of those automations to go back into the correct spot. And if I come back to pattern, fingers crossed, this is gonna sound pretty good. That's crazy. This sounds awesome. Hit randomize, come down here, hit song mode, go back to pattern and hit play. Pretty interesting. I'm gonna bring this down. I'm pretty happy with that. Drop the octave. I love the Mercury 4 that these guys made. The Mercury 6 is also awesome. The GX80, which is their version of the CS80, is awesome. So there's just so many. This is the best effect bundle I have ever used. So Saturator is like a vinyl effect plugin, but what's really cool is the scrapes and the flutter. See how it's doing that? It can add these really cool inaccuracies, especially if you automate these knobs. Listen to the scrapes. And there's a cool visual representation of what's actually happening behind the scenes. So this is called, I believe, Albedo, and it reminds me of, I think it's maybe called Blue Skies, the pedal that can create these really big drones and freezes. You can just add some cool grains. Like, that sounds crazy, and listen to how it sounds when it's off. Phenomenal. Rerun is really cool. It's like a weird glitch plugin, and it does these kind of random glitches, which is really interesting. You can switch all the repeats and just the direction, and I don't know, there's just so much control that you can do here. It's awesome. This is called Skew, and it is a reverse plugin, but one that I've never seen before. So I'm going to turn this crossfade up. So now we're reversing. What you can do is play with these different curves here, and they just impact the reverse. Listen to this. And then you have the plugin called Corrosion. It's one of the coolest distortion plugins I've ever used. You can really get those Yeezus. Like, this sounds like the start of Yeezus. You can change the different ways that it's being impacted. It's just really easy to create these really interesting 808s. Complete control. So if you use Kontakt, this is going to save you a ton of time. A lot of people just do not know about complete control. So it's 100% free. It works with all your Kontakt banks. It also works with Arturia products and some others, and it loads them in a fraction of the time. So if I come to Kontakt, I'm just going to go ahead and open up one of these big Spitfire libraries. Like, the whole thing is just frozen essentially. Okay, so we loaded this up. I'm gonna go to the next preset and we are going to count together how long this takes. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. It looks frozen. 5 Mississippi. Okay, so it took about 5-6 seconds to go to the next preset. Now if I open the exact same instruments over here, check this out. I have Kepler open, next instrument. I couldn't even count 1 second. So that's how quick that this will open up your Kontakt banks and other instruments. I'm not sure why it does it, but it works really well. Sounds like I'm playing those, eh? This is String Mutations. It's another Crow Hill product. It is incredible. So what it does when you hold these notes, just gonna go ahead and hold this. What's happening is it's triggering these kind of pre-made phrases that they've recorded. And what's really cool about this is you can come in here and you can switch to different keys. So if you are in a different key, take a listen now. That sounds so beautiful. Oh, it just went dark there. Oh, like this is stuff that I would never be able to program. So if you want those beautiful string sounds, String Mutation is absolutely it. So a lot of people don't know about Splice Bridge. So what Splice Bridge does is it allows the samples in the Splice app to be able to be played in time and in key inside of your DAW. Okay, so I have this idea. I put it in C minor. I also know it's C minor down here. So when I come up to Splice, I type in violin. I also put that in C minor. Just take a listen to some of this. So it's playing in conjunction with what's happening in my DAW. And I could just come in here and try different ideas until I find something that I really enjoy. Sounds crazy. Maybe pitch this up. I make sounds for a living, and when I found this out, it blew my mind. So Sound Towers makes VSTs for analog synths so you can control them from your DAW. That right there is a gem in itself because it opens up a whole new world of sound design, because when you're using the synths, you only have your 2 hands. Whereas if you can open it inside of your DAW or on your computer, you can be controlling every element of your synth. So this is hooked up to my Trigon 6. There's a couple different options you can do here, but program genetics is really interesting. You can take one preset, which is the mum, and you can take another preset, which is the father, and you can essentially blend the two together and create I think it's like 100 or so custom new presets that are just blending the two together. And Sound Towers makes these for a bunch of the sequential stuff like the Prophet, my Take 5 here. They also do Moog and a bunch of other stuff, so you definitely want to check them out. This is one that I definitely think your favorite producers who use analog synths are gatekeeping. I love plugins. I actually make plugins for a living. Spawn, the plugin that you saw there, is coming out November 1st, but if you want to get your hands on it before the rest of the world, it's really easy. All you have to do is comment below. Let me know your favorite plugin, the one that you're gatekeeping. Share it with the producer community. You're gonna get Spawn before anybody else in the world has a chance to use it, and you're gonna get Note Grabber, and you're gonna get Fusion by Prototype. So definitely want to comment below. Let me know your favorite plugin, and you could be the winner.